All right, hello and welcome to the Business Octopus live stream. And how you going, Amanda?
Fantastic. And Avon, yourself?
A little bit strung out, tired, growing, and trying to keep up with it all. But that's the point. So here we are, and we're going to be talking about the 7-Eleven 4, which is not anything new. We didn't come up with it ourselves. Google did a research piece and realized that we need 7 hours of touch point, or sorry, 7 hours of content consumption over 11 touch points across 4 channels or 4 mediums. And
Yeah.
so I think that, what we're really sort of going into is, how do you get to a point when someone trusts you enough to pull their wallet out and to want to work with you, and that's effectively what this is doing. So I think, to break it down a little bit more, why don't we go into why it takes so long, and is it not already obvious? Like, you go to a shopping center, or you walk into a shop, you probably spend a bit of time browsing. Maybe you've seen them in a magazine, you've seen a billboard for it. You haven't you may not make the purchase straight away, but it takes you time to build a relationship. And so I think, by putting a metric to it now, it's sort of like something to shoot for, or something to aim for. So I don't know, what does 7-Eleven 4 mean to you?
Well, I think biggest realization for me, people are more skeptical than they've ever been. The prevalence of scamming and dodginess on the internet and just generally on the planet is wild. And people are therefore more skeptical, as I said, and they're just, they're sussing people out, and businesses and organizations out over time, so that they can, like Avon said, we need to build that trust so they get to that point where they feel comfortable spending their hard-earned dollars with you. And what I notice when we're chatting to people in the community, when we're out chatting to other business owners, they'll say, okay, I have a leads problem, or I have a sales problem, and we'll look at their numbers, and they're not, maybe they're posting on LinkedIn once a week, but that's all they're doing in terms of getting in front of people. Which, if that is all you're doing, of course, you're not being seen, you're not creating the right circumstance to move the needle forward and get in front of people enough to know, like, and trust you. So that's what we wanted to dive into today. How do you create that 7-Eleven 4 scenario for yourself in your business?
Well, I think it's about setting the objective, right? So, like, if you've got if you're a business owner and you go, I'm going to create a video, and you create a video and you post it and you go, oh, that was a lot of work. So what? Like, there's one thing or one bit of content, and you're not hitting the right goal. The goal should be, get enough video evidence and markers, like trust markers, to say that you know enough about what you're talking about, you know enough about how to solve the problem for the client, and you're going to do a good enough job because of X, Y, and Z, because you've met the target that it takes someone to trust you, which is having observed you for a period of time. And because if there is a lot of work in producing a video sometimes, and it's a lot less now with AI, and then writing the article, then doing the video post, and then doing the online poll, and sometimes that can really add up. And if your goal is, right, I'm gonna create 10 posts, that's the wrong goal. The goal should be, I need every viewer to observe me for 7 hours, over 11 touch points, which, they might watch a 2-hour YouTube channel, there's 2, and then they've seen you on Instagram, 5 times, and then maybe they've seen you on once in a magazine article, or once on TV. Or, I'm not saying you have to do all of those channels, but it's not so prescriptive as some of the other ones, where they go, oh, you must be be on this channel, or be on that, be on TV, or be on the radio, or something like that. You can get there a number of ways, and I think that it's not a hard and fast rule, but it kind of gives you enough of a metric to go, how hard do I need to work? and at what point will I be successful?
Well, and this is, how long is a piece of string, right, Ivan?
It's 7-11-4. That's how long the piece of string is.
Well, this is true.
Yeah.
Right. So what do we have control over? You need to be on at least 4 platforms, is what that tells us, right? And if you're not showing up on at least 4 platforms, you're making it harder than it needs to be. The 7 and the 11 part, how do we control that?
Well, we're doing it now.
Right. Yeah, we're doing it now. Right.
So if it's time in the saddle when people are getting to know you, to see how you move, how you speak, get a sense of trust. You look someone in the eyes, like I'm not using an AI avatar. I can't fake this. I am not editing this. This is live. And so we've got a comment here. Sorry, just do it or don't do it. You will regret both. And then we have a hello. So nice to see you. Thank you for coming along. But yes, basically, if you are producing some form of content, like I'm not really hiding behind a script. I'm here presenting what I actually know, and I am pretty much giving you evidence markers that what I'm talking about is, that I know enough about what I'm talking about, so that later on in the engagement, yes, in that last sentence, I didn't give you any pearls of wisdom, but you're building some form of relationship with me. So, maybe over the course of 7 hours, you might find that I've said, 10 really gold nuggets and, 100 just sort of whatever things. And you go, all right, well, I get an idea of the person over a period of time. It's like, how do you form an opinion that you feel that you can trust and rely on after a period of time? That is by viewing more than 1 second or 3 seconds of that person. They might have stumbled their name when they first met you, but you actually have a coffee with them and figure out they're actually a really smart person that's really well spoken, that just had a bad day, they were off, or they were tired.
That's it. And I know we're told to, that first impressions count also.
Second, third, fourth, fifth, and seventh impressions count as well.
They do. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes.
And, I think in this world now, you've got, the cancel culture. So a really bad impression works negatively also. However, in some cases, you've got to draw your line in the sand, because if you try to please everybody, you please nobody. So there are people that are controversial and they do quite well, not because they are, popular everywhere, but because for a small segment of the market, they are spot on. And absolutely. I'm not saying go out and be controversial, but I'm saying be out there, be in the media, find your flock, people, birds of a feather flock together. Find the people that resonate with you. And that's where that 7-11-4 comes from, because they're not going to spend the 7 hours figuring you out if they don't align, or if they don't feel like they align with you.
Exactly. And if they don't align with you, they will self-select out. They will unsubscribe. They will, no longer consume your content. So
yeah.
What's Mark got to say?
Good to see you, or good to see your text. So authenticity doesn't just eat AI for breakfast. It will keep you alive when the bots get unplugged. Yes.
Interesting point on that. I was working with a client earlier this week, and Avon already knows this. And we were having a conversation around whether or not to use an AI avatar. And the content of this course, I won't say what it is, but the content of this course was very much around being authentic and, leading people. So, I sort of said, hey, if we're teaching people to be authentic and stepping up, we probably shouldn't be using a fake human to deliver that information. Like from 2 angles, it is inauthentic. And it also doesn't add credibility to the person that's creating this thing and putting it out into the world. So yes, excellent point there, Mark. Excellent point.
Yeah, I definitely disengage when I see a lot of the AI stuff. Like particularly if I'm investing my time in whoever it is that I'm watching, if they're not investing their time in me or in me as an audience, or me as a what's the word, me as a potential customer, then I don't feel like I have that connection. So that 7 of the 11.4 needs to probably be more like 15, like, and I don't feel like they've gone to the effort to make the thing, and I know deep
Exactly.
down, everyone's like, oh, but it's so much more efficient and you can get this and that. Stats don't always matter. Like, you can have two examples of people. One might be a student in a electronics engineer kind of degree space, and they like fantasize every day about buying a Tesla. They're going to go to the shop 100 times. They're going to try to get test drives. They're going to download every magazine. They're going to just obsess over this thing, search it 100 times, but then they're never going to afford it because they're a student. Then you might have another person who's some CFO or something of a big organization, might just walk in once and go, I like it, I'll buy one. And that's the thing, is like the 7-11-4, that trust element, that kind of happens two ways. So just because you're a business owner and you put like 1,000 hours of AI content up there doesn't mean people are going to buy from you, because they haven't got to that trust element, or they need to get through an additional 2,000 hours of content to then feel like they know that you know what they're talking about, but they still always feel like it's fake. I think mistakes are good. Like when I stumble over my words, if I write something and it's not perfect, it now makes you seem more human than if you were to go and look at something that was perfect and polished and very well done.
Exactly. I think the only place that AI could be useful is if maybe once or twice a year you make a fun parody video that you clearly state is AI, and hey, we're just having a bit of fun, that is not directly linked to, not directly linked to your zone of genius from an educational point of view. Hey, we're just having a bit of fun with this. Otherwise, please show up yourselves so that you can actually build the trust that you need to build. Do
the work, don't be lazy.
Basically, fine. There are other ways that you can save time in your business. Please do not cut corners with your content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was talking to someone yesterday that they're adamant that they wanted a AI phone answering bot. But he didn't have the system architecture behind the scenes to be able to, like, it's just not this magical fairy dust that you sprinkle over. You actually have to, it has to connect to a calendar. It has to know what responses to give and go through a whole question tree. And because he calls up some other company and goes, oh, I want one like this. But that other company's probably spent tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on that particular application. And then you've got a million of these people coming out of the woodwork saying, we can sell you this thing. It's $200 a month or a week or something like that. Like, they're not cheap, but they're all white labeling and pushing, all of that. But there's no trust or authenticity. Like, that person that one high value contact that rings you that says, I would like to speak to the owner, and or I want to answer this specific question. If they get stuck in the question tree, they're not going to proceed. Someone, my business partner, tried to book a dentist appointment for his child, and the dental practice goes, yep, you can book an appointment. And then as soon as is this for an adult or a child? As soon as he said it was for a child, the call disconnected, because they hadn't, tested the bot to see if that, like, and it said, we're going to transfer to a human, because the AI wasn't allowed to deal with kids.
Oh, right. Okay.
Actually connect to a phone. So it was like a dead end. Which,
no. Frustrating.
There's nothing wrong with, as soon as you pick up the phone, instead of getting the IVR or internal voice routing, so you pick up the person and you get hello, and it's a real person, not hello or whatever the AI voice is at the time. And then they can help, figure out what you need. Use the AI behind the scenes where the client can't see. I know the trend is the opposite, and I work in tech. I just don't love it from a customer, high trust customer environment. If you do something really dumb and simple and a high volume, go for it, right? Ordering pizza is is one. Now
Right.
ordering food
I'm not
from McDonald's.
offended if I get a bot, if I'm ordering pizza, right? It's okay.
Yeah. Do you know, I actually go to McDonald's is quite frustrating when you've got to get through the screens, but then they put all these upsell steps in there, and sometimes it takes extra time. And now I find myself just going to smaller businesses because I want to talk to a human. Does that make me seem old? That's what the older people didn't want to deal with the computer. I'm a computer person, and now I don't want to deal with the computer.
I don't want to deal with it. I'm a bit the same. I would much rather go and have an actual experience rather than just like have this robotic interaction.
Yeah. It's going to become rare, and it's going to become special, and it's going to become more valuable to go, oh, I get the human at this place. That's why I go here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So another thing is, could one of your touch points be in-person events or meetups or communities? Think of things like that, team. It doesn't all just have to be happening online.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I think a lot of things go online, so the things that go offline become more valuable. Like we've been both of us been sending physical mail. That's a touch point. Both of us have been some of our people in our network are going on TV, and you know, some of the you know, being on TV is another channel. Like it's pretty much more of this, but that's a more established institutional medium. And you know, aside from TV, you've got radio, you've got you know, just general print where you send some kind of like, you know, packages and parcels and things in the mail. You know, those things are really going to cut through, as opposed to, you know, people giving more money to Mark Zuckerberg and whoever it is that runs the Google ads, Larry Page or something like that. So I think if we can get to that real authenticity component, that's really only where the 7-Eleven-4 actually comes into it. Because if it's the machine telling you, the machine can do 1 million times a second. So the hours of understanding is almost irrelevant. The number of touch points is almost infinite, and the mediums are also almost infinite. So I think the 7-Eleven-4 cannot apply to AI.
No, that's a really, really good point. I think, yeah, if it is a formula that we're using to build knowledge I exist, likability of me, and trustability, that's not a word, but you know what I mean, then no. The rule does not apply to AI, friends. It does not apply. Yeah.
So, well, let's say 7-Eleven, human 7-Eleven-4.
Yes. Human 7-Eleven-4. Look at that. Brand new title for the video.
But, you know, like where you can do this distribution and increase your output might be, you know, say, for example, we take the video and then say, AI, give me a text summary of what we talked about. Then place that across, you know, 5 different platforms.
100%. Yes.
There's
you can still leverage the technology that is available to us to save time, but you need to be the origin of the thing. Like this. This would be a masterpiece of content, for example, right, Avon?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, yesterday I was in a car for 3 hours, you know, 1.5 hours each way. So I called like 10 people.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Getting it done. Yeah. No extra time.
How are you going? Yeah. What's happening in your life? You know, it doesn't always have to be, have you bought my thing yet? Or this is a cold call. You know, like build those relationships. Yeah. That's what's going to matter. All right.
Exactly.
We've covered a lot today.
We have. Look at us go. Winning.
So if you're watching, if indeed you still are, thank you very much. Thank you, Mark, for making a comment. I hope you have a great day. And you stay classy.
Catch ya.